Hello everyone, welcome to kitch&more. We are now in week 6 of English 7 quarter 4 in the Matatag curriculum, and this week you will be learning how to evaluate a letter of request. Are you ready? Let's get started. Our lesson objectives for this week are the following. First, identify the parts of the letter of request proposing a solution to an environmental concern. Second, infer sender's meaning, purpose, and intended audience. And third, identify politeness, strategies, and appropriate diction and style given a letter of request. So back to memory lane. Previously, you learned about writing a problem solution essay and its essential steps. The process began with the pre-writing stage, where you identified an environmental problem, brainstormed possible solutions, and considered the situation, audience, and purpose of your essay. Then, during drafting, you developed a central thesis, gathered supporting facts and images, and outlined the structure of your letter. Afterward, in the revising and editing stage, you refined your work by ensuring clarity of main ideas, checking grammar, word choice, and formatting. Finally, in the publishing phase, you presented your essay through digital or printed brochures, pamphlets, posters, or even social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram. So today, we will be learning about what is a letter of request. A letter of request is a formal document used to ask for something, such as an information, permission, assistance, or a service. It is typically written in a polite and professional tone, clearly stating the purpose of the request, providing necessary details, and specifying any deadlines if applicable. This type of letter is commonly used in workplaces, schools, and government transactions to formally communicate a need or request. So what are the purposes of a letter of request? First is seeking information. It is used to ask for details, clarifications, or documents. For example, when you are requesting a product catalog. Second, requesting assistance. It is sent when seeking help or resources. For example, asking for volunteers at an event. Third, asking for approval or permission. It is used to get authorization for an activity, like requesting a venue for use. Then fourth, requesting a service. It is sent to ask for a task to be completed, like requesting an equipment repair. And lastly, it's initiating communication. It establishes contact for professional discussions, like requesting a meeting. Now, who are the target readers of a letter of request? We have here the target readers can be supervisors or managers, government officials, service providers, educational institutions, business partners, or even non-profit organizations. Let's talk about the parts of a letter request. First is the heading. The heading contains the sender's details, typically placed at the top left or right of the page. It includes the full name of the sender, the address, home or office depending on the nature of the request, the contact details like the phone number and email, and the date during which the letter is written. This sender's information allows the recipient to know who is making the request and how to respond. Next is the recipient's address. The recipient's address is the section that includes details of the person or organization to whom the letter is addressed. It should be written below the sender's information and include the full name of the recipient, title or position, the organization name, and the full address of the recipient. So this ensures that the letter reaches the right person or office. Then the third part of the letter of request is the salutation. The salutation is the opening greeting of a letter. It is crucial because it sets the tone for the rest of the communication, showing respect and professionalism toward the recipient. So, how to format the salutation correctly? First, we use dear plus the title and the last name when addressing a specific person. For example, Dear Mr. Santos, Dear Dr. Rivera. This format is preferred in formal letters as it directly acknowledges the recipient or the receiver. Second, if the recipient's name is unknown, use to whom it may concern. This is used when you are unsure of the specific person who will read the letter. Just like when you are submitting a request to an organization and you are not aware of the name of the specific person, or you're not sure of the name of the specific person to whom you will send the letter of request. However, it is always better to find out the recipient's name if possible. Then the next part of the letter is the body. The body is the main section where the sender explains the request. It usually consists of 3 parts: the introduction, which states the purpose of the letter and briefly introduces yourself if necessary. Second, the main details that provide specific information about the request, like what you need, why it is important, what are the deadlines, and any other supporting details that are needed. And lastly, the closing or concluding statement. Politely express gratitude and indicate any next steps, like requesting a response or offering to provide more details. So this ensures clarity and completeness, increasing the likelihood of approval. The next part of the letter of request is complimentary close. The complimentary close is a short phrase used to politely end a letter before the sender's name and signature. It shows respect, gratitude, and professionalism toward the recipient. For example, sincerely. It is common in formal closing that expresses genuine respect and professionalism. Another example is respectfully. It is often used when writing to someone in a higher position, such as a principal or a supervisor. Best regards. It is used as a polite and slightly less formal way to close a letter. Or yours truly, often used in business and official correspondence. The next part of a letter of request is the signature block. The signature block is placed at the end of a formal letter, often after the complimentary close, which is sincerely or respectfully. It contains the sender's handwritten or digital signature, followed by their typed full name, job title, and organization if applicable. So how do we format the signature block properly? So we include the handwritten or digital signature, if printed or emailed, respectively. Then typed full name. Clearly state your name for easy identification. Then the job title. If writing on behalf of an organization, include your position. Then the company or school name. If relevant, mention your workplace or institution. Then the last part of the letter of request is called the end notations or the attachments or enclosures. If additional documents are included, mention them at the bottom with labels like enclosures. List the documents such as certificate of employment, ID copy, etc. The CC or the carbon copy is used if the letter is being sent to multiple people. So this notifies the recipient of extra materials attached to support the request. Then let's proceed to inferring sender's meaning, purpose, and intended audience. Let's study this letter. This is just an excerpt. I hope this letter finds you well. My name is Chu Kim Ming, a teacher at Malaya National High School, and I am writing to formally request your approval for a cleanup drive on August 30, 2024 from 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock within the school premises. The cleanup drive aims to promote environmental awareness and instill a sense of responsibility among students, teachers, and staff in maintaining cleanliness within our school. This activity will involve students from different grade levels, faculty members, and parent volunteers working together to clean classrooms, hallways, and outdoor areas. Additionally, The event will include a short orientation on proper waste disposal and eco-friendly practices to encourage sustainable habits. We will ensure that all participants follow safety guidelines and that proper waste segregation is practiced during the activity. I would greatly appreciate your approval of this request. Should there be any additional guidelines or requirements, please let me know. I am happy to provide further details at your convenience. Thank you for your time and consideration. Let's answer the following questions based on the letter of request, which is an excerpt. The first question is this a formal or informal letter? That's right, this is a formal letter. What clues help you determine the letter's tone and style? The letter uses polite and professional language, structured paragraphs, and a clear request. Phrases like, I am writing to formally request, and I would greatly appreciate your approval indicate formality. Next, who is the sender? Correct, the sender is Chuki Mig. What details in the letter help you identify the sender's role? So, the letter states, my name is Chuki Mig, a teacher at Malaya National High School. This confirms that the sender is a teacher at the school. Next, what is the sender's purpose for writing? Correct, the sender wants to request approval for a cleanup drive within the school premises. What action is the sender requesting? The sender is asking for permission from a school official to conduct a cleanup drive on August 30, 2024 from 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock. Who is the intended audience? The intended audience is a school official, possibly the school principal or an administrator. Is the letter addressed to a friend, a family member, or a school official? The letter is addressed to a school official. How does the words and structure reflect the audience? The letter is well organized, using formal and respectful language, which is appropriate when addressing a school official. It avoids casual expressions and provides clear details about the request. The use of courteous closing statements like, should there be any additional guidelines or requirements, please let me know, reflects professionalism. Now let's proceed to identifying the proper person for the request. First is research the correct recipient. You have to identify who is the most qualified to fulfill your request by researching or asking around. Second, contact the company for a request. If unsure, call the company secretary to find the right person. Gather their full name, job title, office address, and phone number. Then lastly, request information on the right contact. If necessary, write a separate request letter to ask who to address. Always follow the proper format using appropriate titles and salutations. Let's proceed to formal letter format. Your request letter should use the proper business letter format as it is likely a formal request. This applies whether you're sending an email or a hard copy letter. Become familiar with the following format and be sure to use it when writing your letter. First, margins. Set 1-inch margins on all sides for a clean and professional look. Second, font style and size. Use Times New Roman or Arial 12 points font size for readability and formality. Then spacing. Apply single spacing within paragraphs and double spacing between them for clarity. Lastly, the indentation and alignment. Keep text left aligned with no paragraph indentation to maintain a structured and professional format. Let's now move on to the importance of timely request. Keep in mind that whoever you're writing to probably has other tasks to complete, so your request may take some time to get to, and if your request is time sensitive, be sure to give the recipient enough advance notice to process it. Generally, allowing a week for a request is a good guideline, though bigger tasks could very well take longer. For example, You wouldn't ask for a letter of recommendation from a teacher 2 days before it's due. That is an unreasonable request. If you'd planned ahead, you'd know that such requests usually require 2 weeks to fulfill. So we have here, allow enough time for a response. Sending requests early ensures proper review and response. It allows time for adjustments if needed or additional requirements are needed. Late requests may lead to delays, rejection, or rushed approvals. Respect deadlines. Submit requests well in advance to allow processing time. Send request letters at least 2 weeks before the needed date. Check organizational guidelines for specific processing times. Let's now move on to the ethics in communication. You have to remember the following when you are sending a letter of request. First, be honest and respectful. Always communicate truthfully and transparently to build trust and credibility. Use a polite and respectful tone even when making requests or addressing concerns. Second, avoid exaggerations or false claims. Do not overstate facts or provide misleading information to persuade others. Misrepresentation can damage your reputation and lead to misunderstandings. Lastly, ensure clarity and professionalism. Use clear, concise, and well-structured language to prevent confusion. Maintain a professional tone by avoiding slang, informal expressions, or overly complex wording. Let's now have author's role in writing a request letter. Being the author of a request letter, you have to remember the following. First, communicate with clarity. Express your request in a clear, direct, and organized manner to avoid confusion. Use simple and precise language so the recipient can easily understand your purpose. Second, use politeness strategies. Show respect and courtesy by using polite phrases such as, "I would appreciate it if," or "kindly consider my request." Then maintain a professional and respectful tone regardless of the urgency of your request. And lastly, provide complete and relevant details. Include essential information such as dates, reasons, and any supporting details. Ensure that the recipient has all necessary facts to make an informed decision. The last one is the diction and style in a formal letter. In a formal letter, including the letter of request, we have to be familiar and we have to apply the following. First, formal word choice. Using formal words makes a request sound more respectful and professional. For example, instead of saying ask, use the word request because it sounds more polite. Second, complete sentences. A formal letter should use full sentences to sound professional. This makes the letter look more serious and respectful. And the last one is polite closing statements. The way you end your letter is important. Saying thank you for your time and consideration shows appreciation. And I look forward to your response lets the recipient know you are waiting for their reply in a polite way. These statements help make a good impression. Well, that ends our discussion. Always remember that a well-written request letter must be clear, polite, and properly formatted to ensure effectiveness. Understanding the sender's role, purpose, and audience helps tailor the tone and content properly. And so that's all for our lesson. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Kitch&more. Till next time, bye!